and welcome to another edition of the Sewing Guru, and for this particular video I'm going to show you how to construct the front and back panels and attach them to the yoke. So I think the easiest way for me to explain this to you is that get your shirt panels, the front and backs, together as if they're closed. Alright, so I put mine together like so, and we have here where the yoke piece is going to be attached, or the yoke, this is where it's going to be attached to the yoke. Okay, now this here is the shirt yoke, so we have here attaching to the front, this is attaching to the front, and of course along here this what attaches to the back. Now we're just going to be working on the front panels for now. So obviously you have the right sides and the wrong sides, and you will have a yoke part which is going to be facing inside the shirt, and you've got to be the yoke panel which is going to be facing always, which is showing all the time. So you need to get your inside yoke. Okay, now usually it doesn't really matter because they're exactly the same, both of them are exactly the same, and turn this over so that you can see the right side and attach your front panel onto the shoulder point of the yoke like so. Alright, and hold that there, and then position with the right sides together. Again, you'll see the right sides of facing onto the shirt. Okay, so all you can see is the wrong sides of the yoke part like so, and what you're doing is you're just basically trapping this front panel into between the two yokes. Alright, and what you need to do, making sure that all of these three pieces, because there's 1, 2, 3 pieces, make sure that they are all aligned at the top here. Okay, so they're all exactly the same. You just put a pin here, put another pin here, and put a pin on this side here, just to catch the whole thing in. Alright, and do that the same on the other side. Just move that out of the way. So again, you can see the right side of the yoke here, and just position this shirt panel, again the right side, you can see on there like so, and then fold this back, and you will then see the wrong side of the yoke, so the right side is facing each other like so, and again you've got your three panels like so, and put some pins in there. So it's a bit fiddly, but you know, it's a bit of patience and you'll get the hang of it. Another pin just on the edge here. Okay, and all we're doing when you've done that is you are stitching 1 centimetre in from here to here, and the same on this side, from here all the way to here. Okay, so I've stitched across here on both sides, so the left and the right, and what you need to do is just bring the two yoke parts together like so, and just give this a press like so. Just press that down, and again on the other side as well, just press this down. Now it is up to you whether you want to do a top stitching. Now I always like to top stitch my yokes, it just looks more, don't know, just a little bit more professional in my opinion, rather than none at all, but it still looks good without, so it is up to you. So if you're going to be doing a top stitching, what you need to do is just top stitch across from here right across to here, and of course because you've caught all this in, the top stitching will lie exactly on the seam on the inside as well. Okay, so you need to just stitch from here to this point here and do that on both sides. Okay, so I've top stitched across here. Just give this a press. Really nice. And the other side as well. Just give that a bit of a press down. Like so. Now the next part, what we're doing is take that away and bring in the back. Now you need to first of all, if you've got any pleats on the back, you need to just put those in now. Now I've got two little tucks, okay, and we just need to just fold those in. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just fold them in and give them a bit of a press down. Just press those in like so, and put a pin just to hold those down, just to hold the pleats in place like so. Yeah, and the other side of course as well, because we're going to have it equalled either side. Most shirts do have a pleat, some have double pleats on either side, and some just have a single pleat. Now these are just got a single knife pleat on either side, so again just press that, and again you should have your pleats, if you've got any, marked with notches so that you can just press those in like so. Alright, now if you want to, at this point you can actually just quickly tack these down with the sewing machine just to hold them in place. Alright, so that is what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to tack these in place now just before I put the yoke on. Okay, now I've just tacked my pleats in. Give them a press like so, and the other one. Press these in. Obviously because it's a pleat you're not pressing all the way down. Okay, now when you've done that, turn over your shirt so that the wrong side is facing you. Alright, so just like that. So make sure that you've got the pleats in this side as well. So just have that facing you like so, so the wrong side is facing you. And then what you need to do is get your front pieces, alright, and you need to have the fronts facing the right sides facing you. Okay, so this is the wrong side of the shirt. Okay, so this is the inside, this goes facing your body of course, and then you're going to have the proper panels facing you. So you've got the wrong sides facing each other, and just place this yoke on top like so. Alright, so you're just placing the yoke, open the yoke like so, so you see the wrong side of the yoke, and what you're doing is you're just attaching this top part down onto the yoke. Now you've got to make sure that this pleat stays in place. Alright, now what you can do is just put a pin in there, just quite far down, just to hold this pleat down. Okay, and do that with the other side as well. Just put a pin on the other side down here, just holding this pleat down in place. Okay, and again just a bit further down like so, and then position that back again like so, and position the yoke onto the top of the back of the panel, and just put some pins in here to secure this down. Okay, we're pinning this right along. Now the yoke should be, when your pleats are in, the same length on the top as the back. Just put another pin here as well, just to secure all this in, making sure that the two sides are together. Okay, just make sure that they're all in alignment like so. Get a few more pins, and again another pin there, and another pin here like so. Alright, so what you're doing is you're stitching your yoke in, so you're going from this point here, again a centimetre in, right along, catching all this in, to the other side at this point here. Okay, so when you've caught all this in, right across the top, what you need to do is just put the yoke the right way out. Okay, so just position the whole shirt the right way out. Okay, now as you can see, this here is the... I'll just position that correctly so you can see that. This here is for the front, and this is here where the back is. Okay, so just open up your yoke like so, or you can take out the pins as well now where you held the pleats together. Okay, so just take those out, and what you're doing now is just press down this seam, what you've just stitched, just press it down facing upwards to the yoke like so. Okay, so you've got that facing up towards the yoke. Now press this, bring this down. Alright, so you've got the whole front part and the whole top of the yoke, and just press that, just give that a press down. Now what you need to do now is just position, I'll just position that a bit further forward so you can see that better. This here has to all now lie completely flat across here. Okay, so you can see where your stitching line was here, where you've just attached this top yoke. Make sure this is flat, and then just bend this back just onto the seam, yeah, and press this down. Again, cotton is great because when you've pressed it, it just stays. So just keep manipulating that so that it's flat. When you've got the neck point here as well, just put a pin in the top of the neck there, just to secure that, because you don't want that to move. Okay, so just make sure that that is positioned correctly on the neck. See, and then at least then you've got no movement and you know exactly where you are down here. Just put a few pins round the neck like so. Okay, and then go back to this and just keep pressing this down onto the stitching line, making sure that this seam is just flat and nice and straight right along. Okay, so you can see that that is just on the top of the stitching where you've just been. Your guide is your stitching line really, and while you're doing that, just to secure this, just to put some pins in, because this is where your top stitching is going to be going as the next stage, just to hold this whole yoke together. Alright, so put your pins in like so, right along, right on the edge, yeah, and do that right along, right along the stitch line. Make sure the whole thing, make sure it's all flat. That's the thing with the shirt, you've got to just make sure that it's all flat across this yoke point, and then you don't get any distortion at all. Yeah, and just follow that stitch line. Okay, just follow that stitch line and just make sure that the whole thing is lying flat. Put a few more pins down here like so, and then another one here over the top of that pleat, and then also another one over here. Like so. And what you're doing is you're going to now top stitch simply from here right across the back to this point here, and you will catch the stitching line in just at the right point, because that's where you've pressed this seam down, so it's right in line with this white stitching line. So you're going to get it exactly on the edge on this side as well here. Okay, so just stitch that yoke down on the back. Okay, so I've just stitched right across there, right across the back. Just give that a press. Nice press. Okay, all the way along. Okay, and of course now this stitch line here has caught just on the edge right along as well on the inside, because you pressed it so that it was just on the stitch line. And there you have it, there's the yoke. So the next part is just to secure this round here, but that is it. That is the front attached to the yoke and the back with the pleats in, ready now for the next stage.